Hello, how are you? I'm a little tired. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is November 13th, 2022. It's on Sunday, but it's raining outside. How are you spending Sunday today? Do you usually drink a cup of coffee in the morning? Or do you prefer tea? Do you prefer tea to coffee? Which do you prefer? I have to apologize to you for the inconvenience. I was late 5 minutes. I was late for the destination 5 minutes. 5 minutes is tolerable for you? 5 minute delay is tolerable for you. Is 5 minute delay tolerable for you? What is the limitation that you can wait for? What is the limitation to the length of what you can wait? What is the limitation to the time you can wait for? Apologize. Some people do not apologize to us although they do something wrong to us. Some people hate to apologize to us for inconvenience. Some people hate to apologize for inconvenience. Some people hate to apologize for inconvenience. The company gave the apology for the inconvenience to the customers. I'd like to send my apologies to you for the inconvenience. According to the treaty, the country A already gave apologies to the country B for the matter. We haven't heard apologies from you yet. The journalist criticized the man, saying he hasn't apologized for the inconvenience at the meeting yet. Saying he hasn't apologized to us yet. Saying he hasn't apologized to us yet. Saying he hasn't apologized to us yet. He hasn't sent an apology to us. He hasn't sent apologies to us. She said he hasn't he hasn't gave apologies to us. He hasn't sent apologies to us. He hasn't sent apologies to us. He hasn't gave apologies to us. He hasn't gave any apologies to us. He hasn't gave any apologies to us. When an accident happens, it's important to minimize the second disaster, which might happen after the first accident. When the accident happens, it's very important to minimize the risk of the second disaster happening from the first one and prevent that. I'd like to minimize the time spent for the meeting. I'd like to minimize the time spent for the party after the work, which is called nomikai. I think many salaried workers would like to minimize the time spent for nomikai, the party held after the work. which will steal our money and time. Investors will try to minimize the losses when the prices of the stock or cryptocurrency keep going up or keep going down. Investors will try to minimize the loss of the stock prices. Investors will try to minimize the risk and minimize the loss of the price. The investors will try to minimize the stock loss, trading loss. Investors will try to minimize the loss of the stock trading, cryptocurrency trading. Investors will try to minimize the loss of the trading, stock trade or cryptocurrency trade. Investors will try to minimize the loss of the trading loss. Investors will try to minimize the trading loss. Did you have at least minimum amount of food for the breakfast? Minimum access to the rice. There were 500 people in the park at the minimum. At the minimum. Minimum bet is from $5. Minimum bet changes according to the table. Minimum bet differs according to the table. Minimum. The amount of the minimum bet differs according to the table. The minimum bet differs according to the table. The minimum bet differs according to the table. The rich man is rumored to have $1 million at the minimum. It is rumored that the man has $1 million at the minimum. Minimum score that the company requires the candidates is 900 on TOEIC test. The minimum score of the TOEIC test which the company requires the candidates is 900. The minimum score of the TOEIC test that the company requires the candidates is 900. The minimum score of the TOEIC test which the company requires the candidates is 900. You should finish the basic training book at the minimum before challenging the advanced one. You should finish the basic one at the minimum before challenging the advanced one. The bonus is expected to be more than 1 million yen at the minimum, thanks to the dropping yen. Minimum amount of food that she can eat is even so much for me. Minimum amount of food that she eat for breakfast is too much for me. The bride and groom vowed permanent, eternal love each other in front of the relatives at the wedding ceremony. Permanent. 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 Is renewable energy permanent? Is renewable energy permanent? Genius can keep doing something which he or she is really into permanently. Genius can make permanent effort into something they are really into. Permanent, 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 permanent. Permanent, permanent. The bride and groom vowed permanent love in front of the bishop, in front of the priest, and families. Permanent rain finally finished after a week. The permanent rain finally finished dropping. The permanent rain finally finished. When do you think the permanent recession will end? When do you think the permanent recession will end? When do you think the permanent recession will end? A permanent committee you have to belong to. You have to belong to a permanent committee. At least a permanent committee. You have to belong to a permanent committee at the minimum. You have to belong to a permanent committee at the minimum. You have to belong to a permanent committee at the minimum. Permanent committee. A permanent committee. Permanent committee. A permanent committee. Permanent committee. You have to belong to a permanent committee at the minimum. Permanent. A permanent committee. 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 permanent committee, a 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 permanent committee, permanent committee, permanent committee, a permanent committee. A permanent committee, a permanent committee, a permanent committee, a permanent committee. You have to belong to a permanent committee at least. You have to belong to at least a permanent committee. You have to belong to at least a permanent committee. You have to belong to a permanent committee at the minimum. And a permanent committee will be established, newly established. The newly established permanent committee will be governed by him. A permanent committee, a permanent committee, a permanent committee. A permanent committee. There are many kinds of permanent committee. There are many kinds of a permanent committee. There are many kinds of permanent committee. There are many kinds of permanent committee. Which permanent committee do you belong to? Have you ever engaged in the permanent committee? Have you ever engaged in the financial permanent committee? A chairperson for the permanent committee was chosen. I'd like to do what I love permanently. I'd like to do what I love permanently. I want to do what I like to do permanently. I'd like to do what I'm interested in permanently. Permanently. Eternally, everlastingly. Forever, permanently. Permanently. Perpetually. Perpetually. Permanently. Perpetually. Permanently. 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 Perpetually. 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 I'd like to do what I'm interested in perpetually. My dream is to do what I'm interested in, what I am interested in, what I am interested in, what I'm interested in, what I am interested in, what I am interested in, what I'm interested in, what I am interested in, perpetually. The broom, the bride and groom, the bride and groom, vowed eternal love in front of the priest and families. Perpetual love, perpetual. The criminal was sentenced to perpetual punishment for the illegal activity. Perpetual. The judge sentenced the suspect to perpetual punishment. The judge sentenced the criminal to perpetual punishment. Perpetual punishment. Perpetual punishment. Can you make perpetual effort? It's very important to find something that you can put perpetual effort on. I think this is one of the goals in life, to find something which you can make everlasting effort on. You can make perpetual effort on. You can make perpetual everlasting effort on. I think this is one of the goals in life, to find something you can put emphasis on. You can make endless effort on. The judge sentenced the suspect to perpetual punishment. Perpetual punishment. Perpetual punishment. Perpetual punishment. Perpetual punishment. The judge sentenced the suspect to perpetual punishment. The suspect was sentenced to perpetual punishment. Perpetual punishment. Perpetual punishment. The suspect was sentenced to perpetual punishment. The judge 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 sentenced the suspect to perpetual punishment. Perpetual punishment. The judge sentenced the suspect to 2 years in prison. The judge sentenced to the perpetual. The judge sentenced. The judge sentenced to the suspect. Sentenced to the suspect. The judge sentenced to the suspect. Sentenced the suspect. Sentenced the suspect. Sentenced the sentenced. The judge sentenced the suspect. The judge sentenced the suspect. The judge sentenced the suspect. Sentenced. The judge sentenced the suspect. Sentenced the suspect. Sentenced the suspect. The judge sentenced the suspect to perpetual punishment. It's very difficult to perpetuate something forever. It's very difficult to perpetuate a business. It can be difficult for us to perpetuate what we have decided. Perpetuate. perpetuate, 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 perpetuate. It's very difficult to perpetuate what we have decided forever, perpetually, permanently, everlastingly. Continuously. Eternally. It can be difficult to perpetuate something perpetually. It can be difficult to perpetuate something forever, perpetually, eternally, perpetually. Perpetuate. Can you perpetuate? Can you perpetuate what you have decided forever? Can you perpetuate what you have decided forever? Perpetuate. Can you perpetuate what you have decided forever? Can you perpetuate what you have decided forever? Perpetuate. 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 I will perpetuate what I have decided eternally. It's very difficult to perpetuate a business for more than 5 years. Perpetuate. 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 Coffee helps me to perpetuate my study. Coffee, actually the caffeine, helps me to perpetuate my study. Coffee helps me perpetuate study for long time. Coffee helps me perpetuate my study longer. Perpetuate. Coffee helps me perpetuate my studying long time. Coffee helps me perpetuate my study longer. Coffee helps me perpetuate my study longer. Coffee helps me perpetuate my studying for longer time. Longer. Coffee helps me perpetuate my studying longer. Coffee helps me studying longer. Coffee helps me perpetuate my studying longer. Coffee helps me. Coffee helps me to perpetuate my studying longer. Perpetuate. 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 I think not many people can perpetuate a thing forever. Perpetuate. 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 I think not many people can perpetuate a thing eternally. I think all of us will try to perpetuate a thing for a long time at first, but most of them will quit at some point. So only a few people can perpetuate a thing forever, eternally, perpetually, permanently. Perpetuate, perpetuate, perpetuate. The coffee helps me to perpetuate my studying longer. I hope eternal peace will be met. I hope eternal peace of the world will be met. Eternal. The bride and groom vowed eternal love in front of the families. Eternal, eternal, eternal love, eternal persistency, eternal love, eternal shining. Both bride and groom vowed eternal love in front of the priest and families. Eternal, perpetual, permanent, forever, everlasting, continuous, eternal, 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 eternal. Eternal, 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 eternal. I'd like to do what I'm interested in eternally. I'd like to do what I'm interested in eternally. I'd like to do what I'm interested in eternally. I'd like to do what I'm interested in eternally. Eternally, eternally, eternally. I won't change my mind eternally. The arrogant man, the obstinate man will not change his mind eternally. Eternally. The obstinate man will not change his mind eternally. Eternally, 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 eternity, eternity, eternity. Nothing might last eternally. Nothing might last eternally. Eternally, 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 eternally. I'd like to do what I'm interested in eternally. I'd like to do what I'm interested in eternally. I'd like to do what I'm interested in eternally. Eternally, 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 eternally. The store assures customers that the prices are the lowest in the neighborhood. The store assures us that the prices are lowest in the region, in the district. The store assures us that the prices are the lowest in the region. The store assures us that the prices are lowest in the region, in the neighborhood. The teacher assured us that everything would be fine. The teacher assured all of the students in the class that everything would be fine, even if we lost the examination. Even if we lost the examination. Even if we failed the examination. Even if we failed the examination. How can you assure me that you can succeed in the business? The teacher assured us that everything would be fine, even if we failed the examination, even if we failed the examination, even if we failed the examination, if we failed the examination. The store assures us that the prices are the lowest in the region, and if there are some merchandises more expensive than other stores, they can give us the discount by showing the evidences. The store assures all of the customers that they can get free fixment of the products up to 14 days after the date of the purchase. The store assures us the high quality. The store assures us that all of the products are handmade with high quality. Carefully. The store assures us that all of the products are handmade. The store assures us that all of the products are handmade. The store assures us that all of the products are handmade. The store assures us that all of the products are handmade. The store assures us that all of the products are handmade with care, with a lot of care. The store assures us that all of the products are handmade with a lot of care. He assured me that he would pick me up on time. He assured me that he would pick me up at the airport on time. The company assures its customers that we will be satisfied with high quality. The company assures us that we will be satisfied with the quality of the products. The company assures us that we will be satisfied with the quality of the products sold by the company. I cannot assure your success, but I can assure your effort. I cannot assure your success, but I can assure your effort. You will keep doing that, so someday I hope you will succeed in the business. I can assure you of my persistency. I can assure you of my persistency until I achieve my goals. I can assure you of my persistency with what I have decided. I can assure you of my persistency with what I have decided. What I have decided eternally. The store assures free fix up to 14 days after the date of the purchase. The store assures us of free fix up to 14 days after the date of the purchase. The store assures the lowest prices in the neighborhood. The store assures the lowest prices in the neighborhood. The store assures high quality of the products. The company assures high quality of the products. The store assures 2-year insurance after the date of the purchase. The store assures 2-year free fix after the date of the purchase. The store assures 2-year fixment, 2-year free fix. The store assures free 2-year fix after the date of the purchase. The store assures 2-year free fix after the date of the purchase. The store assures 2-year free fix after the date of the purchase. The store assures its customers of 2-year free fix after the date of the purchase. The store assures its customers of free fix up to 14 days of the first purchase date. The store assures its customers of 2-year free fix after the date of the purchase. I can assure you of my persistency. I can assure you of my persistency. I can assure you of my persistency. Please reassure me. Classic music can reassure my anxiety to some extent, to a certain extent, to some degrees. Classical music reassures my anxiety to some extent. Classical music reassures my anxiety to some extent, to a certain extent. I tried to reassure the cat, but I failed. I tried to reassure the stray cat in the middle of the grass, but I failed. I tried to reassure the stray cat in the middle of the grass with the food, but she or he ran away. I persuaded and I tried to persuade and reassure the stray cat, but I failed. The phone call from the victim reassured the person. The phone call from the son, the victim, one of the victims from the accident, reassured the mother. The phone call from the son, a victim from the accident, from the incident, reassured the mother. The phone call from the victim from the accident reassured the mother. The pass of the examination reassured family. The passing of the national examination reassured me. Reassure, reassure. How can you reassure you? We will never be reassured. Even if you have a lot of money, you will not be reassured. I think we cannot be reassured with money, even with tremendous amount of money. We cannot be satisfied nor reassured with such amount of money, with a great deal of money, even with a great deal of money, even with a good deal of money. We will not be reassured with money. We will not be reassured with money. We won't be reassured with money. We won't be reassured with money. Getting a job reassured my parent. Getting a job will reassure my parent. The safe landing of the plane reassured the passengers. Whenever I safely land on the continent by plane, I feel reassured. Soon after the landing, whenever I land by the plane, I am reassured to realize that I can live, to realize that I can live, to realize that I can live. But I know we will not be satisfied with money, and we will not be reassured by money. But money will be one of the factors reassuring us to some extent, to a certain extent, to some degrees. Reassuring points. There are no reassuring points. Insurances would be a reassuring part in life. Insurance will be a reassuring part of the life in the life. Insurance will give us insurance. Insurance will be reassuring. Insurance will give us some confidence. Insurance will be reassuring. Insurance will be reassuring. Getting salary monthly will be assuring. Getting a salary monthly will be reassuring. Reassuring. Getting a job was reassuring to my parents. More and more reassuring parts should increase. I think many people will not challenge without reassuring parts, reassuring factors. I think not many people will challenge without reassuring factors. Some investors are very careful to invest their money on something. They are gathering reassuring factors before investing. Do you gather reassuring factors before investing your money on something? Yes, I usually gather reassuring factors before I make a decision. Because it's amount of money. It's a lot of money. It's a great deal of money. It's a good deal of money. It's a large amount of money. Before I invest, I gather reassuring factors and information to make sure my money will not be lost. I think some of the investors I think investors are good at gathering reassuring factors information before they invest. Reassuring. I'd like to hear reassuring news from the media. Reassuring news. I'd like to hear reassuring news from the media. Reassuring. 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 reassuring, 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 The investors usually gather reassuring factors before they invest. The increased sales figures of the company became reassuring news to the employees. The increased sales figures of the company became the reassuring news to the employees. Reassuring, 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 reassuring. Getting a job was reassuring to my parent. Getting a job became reassuring for my parent. Reassuring, 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 reassuring. There are no reassuring factors to invest on a stock now. There is no reassuring factor to invest on the stock now. Have you entered insurance? Have you entered the assurance of the rental car? We don't have the assurance in this rented car, so we have to drive carefully. We haven't entered assurance. We haven't entered any assurance regarding this car, regarding this rented car, so we have to drive carefully. Assurance. Assurance, insurance. What is the difference between assurance and insurance? This car is not assured. Insured. So we have to drive carefully. Is this rental car assured? Insured. This rental car hasn't entered assurance. This rental car hasn't entered assurance. This rental car hasn't entered assurance. This 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 rental car is without assurance, so we have to drive carefully. This car hasn't entered assurance. This rental car is with no assurance, so we have to drive carefully. to avoid any accident. High quality is the assuring part of the product. Hospitality is the assuring element and factor of ryokan. Hospitality, utmost hospitality is one of the assuring parts of ryokan. Lowest prices is assuring part of the store. Lowest prices in the region is assuring part of the store. Lowest prices in the neighborhood is the assuring part of the store. Lowest prices in the neighborhood is the assuring part of the store. Lowest prices is assuring part of the store. Assuring. 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 Breathtaking view is one of the assuring things of the tourist spot. Breathtaking view is one of the assuring promises of the tourist spot. Assuring. Utmost hospitality is the assuring point of ryokan, Japanese style inn. Assuring. 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 Two-year prefix is assuring point of the store. Two-year prefix is assuring point of the store. Two-year prefix is assuring point of the store. Assuring. Persistency is my assuring point. Persistency is my assuring point. Persistency is my assuring good point. Persistency is my assuring good point, good feature. Persistency with what I've decided is my assuring good point. Assuring. 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 Sticking with a thing eternally is my assuring point. Assuring. Two-year prefix is assuring point of the store. 2-year free fix is the store's assuring point. Two-year free fix is the assuring part of the store. Lowest prices in the neighborhood is one of the assuring things in this store. Lowest prices in the neighborhood is one of the assuring things in this store. The lowest prices in the neighborhood is the lowest prices in the neighborhood are one of the assuring things. Lowest prices in the neighborhood are the assuring things of the store. Lowest prices are the assuring things in this store. Lowest prices are the assuring things of this store. Lowest prices in the neighborhood are the assuring things of this store. Assuring. Are you still concerned about the result of the examination? If you are concerned about falling tree, please feel free to ask me. I think all of us are concerned about the future. All of us are concerned for the future. Are you concerned with the project? Have you ever concerned with the project? Have you ever concerned with tourism industry? Everybody is concerned about the future. Everybody is concerned for the future. Are you concerned with the project? Have you ever been concerned with tourism industry? Have you ever concerned with restaurant duty, waitress duty? I'm starting to be concerned about my future. I'm starting to be concerned for my future. My boss told me to show concrete plans. I'd like to express my feelings with concrete shapes, concrete forms. I'd like to express my feelings with concrete art, concrete form. The government showed us concrete steps to prevent the infection. The government showed us concrete steps in order to prevent the virus from spreading. Concrete. I'd like to express my feelings in a concrete way. I'd like to express my feelings in a concrete form. I'd like to express my feelings with music in a concrete form. Concrete. I will return the gratitude to something in a concrete way. Concrete. Concrete steps. 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 What do you want to do concretely? The project starting to become concrete. The event is starting to be concrete. The event is starting to be concrete. The detail of the event is starting to be concrete. The detail of the event is starting to be concrete. The concrete dividends. The concrete plan will be announced soon. It won't until next year that the concrete amount of money is announced. It won't until next year that the concrete amount of budget is announced. Concrete step, 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 concrete step. Any concrete steps to prevent the accident has been made. No precaution has been taken. No concrete steps has been taken. No concrete steps have been taken. Concrete steps should be taken as soon as possible, as soon as you can, as soon as they can. The leader should concrete measures as soon as possible, so that we can move smoothly, quickly. The leader should show us the concrete plans, concrete prevention, concrete steps, as soon as they can, as soon as he can, as soon as she can. Concrete step. The leader should give us the concrete steps. The executive showed us a concrete step to market. Enlarge the business to the market, to the world. The executive showed us the concrete plan to expand its business to the world. Concrete step. Building up the riverbank was included in the concrete steps. No my suggestions were included in the concrete steps. No, my ideas were included in the concrete steps. Concrete step, concrete step, concrete step, concrete step. No, my plans were included. No, my ideas were included in the concrete steps. The leader should give us the concrete step to prevent the disaster again. The leader showed us the concrete step to minimize the risk. The specialists showed us the concrete step to minimize the risk. Concrete step, 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 concrete step. Any concrete steps were shown. Any concrete steps have been shown yet? No concrete step has been shown. 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 Any concrete steps have been shown yet? Any concrete steps have been shown. Any concrete step have been shown yet? Any concrete steps have been shown. Have not been shown yet. Any concrete steps 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 haven't been shown yet. Any concrete steps haven't been shown yet. Shown. Concrete step, concrete step. Any concrete steps have not been shown yet. Concrete step. The leader should show us the concrete step as soon as possible, so that we can move quickly. The leader should give us a concrete step quickly. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you.